are you nuts? You got it made. I go, I don't know anybody else that's got a life like you, because I really did have a life that was in the secular world, but it was all about me, right? It was like, and so I knew I was created for something more. He brought me to when I had died, and I was sitting before him, and he kind of showed me like, this is but he said, this is the life that you chose, and this is the life that I had for you. And he's like, choose the life I have for you, It's like, and so then I kind of just said that I would do this, and it was like, and like that, it was really like the heavens and the angels were singing, and it's like really quite a profound moment of prayer, And so then I was like, okay, this is great, because life is going to be easy, and I'm going to be on the red carpet, and now that God's behind me, there's nothing can go wrong. But as we know, it's like you give yourself over to follow Jesus. It's like this purification is like, and so there was a lot of wrestling with our Lord all the way through a lot of my life, and in the process of that, actually just as he finally taught me to get behind him, He's, it's just like Peter, it's like, but I would always want to get out in front of him and say, I'm going to lead, I know what's best, and then I just would get beat up. I mean, completely beat up. And then I turn around and start yelling at him, because, here I am, I'm trying to, exactly kind of like Peter, right? I'm just like, and trying to do what he wants me to do, but look at me, this is what happens. And then finally I kind of start realizing that, and he's teaching me, come behind me and I'll teach you step by step how to do this, right? And so it's just kind of being very docile to learn step by step how to follow him, and continue to do that right now just in my life. But I have to, at this point in my life, I'm so thankful to God, because my life has so much meaning and purpose, right? It's like so life-giving and fruitful and creative. I'm not married, I don't have children, I'm missing that in some ways, but God has given me so much more, right? I mean, and like he says, whatever you offer up, I'll give you even 100 times more. And so I have, all the people at St. Patrick's now, and just blessed with that, and just everything else that I'm able to be part of people's life, and in such a profound way sometimes. And again, allowing Christ to be, following him and letting Christ be poured out through me in such powerful ways. It's just, what more can anybody ask for or to, to receive? And so, that was one of the things too when I was ordained. Actually, the day I was ordained, I realized what a gift this is, not for me. It is for me, but for the world, right? It became so apparent that this is a gift for the world, that my ordination and the gift that I am to share, and how allowing God to share that through that. And I have to say too, at my ordination reception, my dad was so proud of me that too, because I had a big conflict in my life too about, and I think a lot of us do, being affirmed by your father, and it's like, but I could have not won the Heisman Trophy, and then I don't think he'd been prouder, so it was, it's kind of a beautiful, really beautiful thing. My mom was always, oh yeah, my son the priest. I go, Mom, I'm only in the seminary. So, but yeah, so it was, that was all, it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful vocation to respond to and a call. So I think the biggest thing is to be open and to follow, and got to work through even the most difficult things, and the times that we think that God, we kick God out of our lives, that God can use those in a beautiful way if we allow him to. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing with us. So, it sounds like you grew up in a Catholic family. How many siblings did you have?
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the oldest boy. I have an older sister and a younger sister after that, and then 2 brothers after that. 23 nieces and nephews. So I do have.
Wow.
the gift of that. So that's always been a real gift of my life to interact with them. And then
So were people in your family surprised when you finally said, I'm going to be a priest?
Well, interestingly too, I announced it on Easter Sunday that I was going to go into the seminary. I was very hesitant about, and that's one of the things too, you're very quiet about it generally. I mean, at least I was, but yeah, it was very powerful to do that, and a lot of tears, and really not a lot of people that surprised, I guess. There was a couple of reactions, like I used to do a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing. When I was this pharmacist of Relief Remedy, one of the things I wanted to do is have free time. And so I could make a lot of money doing it. And so sometimes I'd only have to work a couple days a month, And so I had lots of chunks of free time, and I'd go fishing and hunting with everybody. And this is where I found out how empty this was, because it was like addiction. I had to go catch either a bigger fish or do something even bigger, because you think, you're going to try and find your happiness there. But then I found out how empty that was. And I was searching, trying to find consolation in the world. It was so depressing, because whatever I thought was going to make me happy, all this stuff that you thought would make you happy did not, But so one of the guys was like, "Are you nuts? You got it made." I go, I don't know anybody else has got a life like you, because I really did have a life that was in the secular world but it was all about me, right? It was like, and so I knew I was created for something more, but I didn't know what that was, and so I just helped. And the good Lord helped me discover that. And that was where before I kind of thought, all this stuff I was doing, seeking out happiness through myself and then hurting other people and whatever else that was going on there, that why would God ever allow that to happen? But it's allowed me, given me a lot of tremendous gifts of just even discerning all that and praying through that and bringing God into that for healing, and then and in some ways God telling me that, and I kind of wrestled around with God with that too, was because I kind of blamed God for a lot of things. Why do you allow this to happen? And he's kind of saying, well, one, I wouldn't listen to him, right? But two, he wanted to let me know that he was real, and then, by making me know that he was real, is because he could heal me and set me free, And so I know he's real, and I've experienced it myself in such a powerful way that it's such a gift. And then he says, I want you to share it with other people too, right? Because, so I've experienced that, and these are the people that I believe, these are the ones that met Jesus, right? That all his followers, when he's walking around here physically on earth, he saw right through all the garbage that they're carrying around, and said, I see you as the true person, as who you are, and I want you to become that, right? And that's why, and they felt that and knew that, and they were set free, and they're going, and where would they go? Why would you want to go anywhere else, right? And so their whole life was changed, and so it's a beautiful thing, and hopefully I can speak to people from my heart. It's not something that is written up here, because there's a lot of people with a lot of book knowledge and stuff like that, and I don't really have that, and I'm thankful in some ways it's not there, because it's here, but it's going to my brain, and because it's kind of written through my heart on my brain how this is all working, and it's a beautiful thing that way, Yeah.
So what is your favorite part of the priesthood?
That would be the healing and reconciliation part, and setting people free that way, through the sacraments and just prayer, and encountering that way, and their brokenness and their pain, and realizing the pain that people are in, and the hell that they're trapped in, right? I mean, that they're, and experiencing that myself, and then knowing that this is not where God wants them to be, and that God has come to set them free, and so those are some of the most powerful moments, of course, and then just to be able to be there and allow God to work through me that way is not me that's doing anything, but God working through me, but I get to participate with that, and it's such a powerful thing, And the more I can stay out of it, which God's telling me, like, stay out of it. Somebody, the little baby dies, what, and it's like, and kind of wrestle with God, when I was a young priest, I don't know what to say to him. It's like, I can't say anything to him, right? and realize it's going in there. It's like, you speak through me. And the beautiful words that God would say, and whatever I needed to say to them was perfect, right? Because God was doing it. And I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to come up with anything. I didn't have to go to a book. But when you have a lot of fear and apprehension, you're like, I better start looking things up, or I better know more about this, or I don't know what to say, and just being free with that and saying, okay. And even all the way over there, you're like, whatever, or even sometimes actually with my homilies, I'm like, Lord, you're in charge here, because there's not much going on with my end of things. So, just kind of, and they end up being like the best homilies, because it's like, it's not like you're not putting in your time, and you have different things that are happening, and you're studying and praying and doing things, but and it really is ourselves that kind of get in the way of that. As I mentioned, we get up and we start thinking, and the evil one jumping in there saying, it was typical lies. You're the worst priest ever. Nobody likes your homilies or whatever, not even listening to that garbage, but listening to God that has a special message for you, that, and to learn to trust Him, that, they can realize that when we had 15 of us ordained for the Archdiocese for my class, so it was guys who were very young, and all the way up to, I was the second oldest. There were about 3 of us that were about the same age, and but a big spread, about 25 years of age, So it's interesting, because one time I was at class, and I said to one of the guys that he was in his 20s, and I go, I feel like everybody here is like half my age, and he's such a kind guy. He goes, well, yeah. It's kind of like that. It's the way he said it.
Yeah, probably are.
Yeah, so they just didn't really throw it in my face or anything, but I was thinking, and I thought to myself, I guess I am twice as old as everybody here. But I had a totally different attitude too when I went into the seminary. It's like, instead of pharmacy, I was like, I want to get really good grades, get a really good job, make a lot of money. And when I was in the seminary, it's like, I don't really care what I get for a grade. What I want to do is, what can I learn, and what is God going to be communicating to me, and what can I take out of here to bring out to other people? That's the most important thing, that I'm going to put my time into learn that. And just, again, it relieved a lot of the pressure of like, what am I actually learning, and how am I incarnating that into my own life and bringing that alive, and so, yeah, so a lot more peace there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging thing as a priest?
I think, to be honest with you, like at the parish, there's just one of me as a priest, and so everybody wants me. Mm-hmm. And then the demands are God's people have this infinite demand, because there is that infinite demand, and so I have to be very much in communion with God, and recognizing, I think Jesus recognized that too, as he had to spend his time in prayer, and recognizing the overwhelming demands of everything that's going on, and realizing that God's in charge again. So that's one of the things I would always, before, I would get really kind of almost in despair about all that's going on, and the evil one attacking with all these different things that are, they're so obviously out there. And now I'm a lot more at peace, because, God's in charge, God's handling this, I'm part of that, and how He's going to do that, I don't know. But I'm not the one that has to figure that out. I'm just responding to how He wants me to respond here and right now in this moment. And so that's what I encourage other people to go into vocation, is we need a lot of good holy priests. There's tremendous amount of things that we can do together. And the one thing that, again, at St. Patrick's I'm very appreciative of is all the support and the people that a desire to help, Mm-hmm. And so that's very, very, it makes it life-giving. So it is kind of it's a very supportive environment that way. But I think that, the biggest thing is be in tune to God, and to, because of the infinite demands, and realizing I'm a finite person and I need to take care of myself. So eat good, sleep, pray. I mean, prayer is the most important thing. I have a chapel in the house, which is a real blessing, because I have an hour of again, with adoration every morning when I get up. First thing I do is I pray. Eat a little bit, I have something, and then I, go down and just spend time with the Lord for an hour to set the tone for the whole day. And then, but it does. I mean, whatever happens, happens. But if I don't have that, I'm on my own, and I'm very vulnerable to anything. And again, just learning to get behind Jesus, and He's in charge. He'll do everything, So
yeah, that surrendering is so important. That trust.
Right.
Yeah, let the Holy Spirit lead. Awesome. Would there be anything? What's your main advice, I guess, to someone who thinks they might have a call to the priesthood?
Well, to be honest with you, if you think you do, you probably do. I mean, or you should respond to it somehow. Come talk to me. It's Father Timothy Yanta, St. Patrick's, or your priest would be a great idea. We do have a vocation director in Archdiocese. Every diocese should have a vocation director, maybe not, depending on the size of it. Or find a good, you probably would see a priest that you're kind of attracted to in their prayer or their life, and just walk with them and just bring it up to them, and then they'll walk with you and give you spiritual direction, help you with that. But respond to that. Don't do like I did for 39 years or whatever when I finally went to the seminary, and say it's a stupid idea, because, again, we fight with those things, and there's these traumatic things that happen in our life that we kind of pick up some really bad things that really prevent us from following God. And so it's not a stupid idea, it's a beautiful idea. And again, you'll never know unless you open up your heart to that either, right? And so God will make it perfectly clear to you, right? This is the path that you're going on. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, that we're going to be on this red carpet ride that that everything's going to be super easy, because it's going to be very sacrificial, learning how to love and follow. But you have to realize too that just live in the consolation of God's love, and not in any desolation, in which will be easy to distract you from that vocation. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I appreciate you sharing your story with us and your advice. And if you enjoyed Father Yanta, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you've got questions about the priesthood, you can drop those in the comments too. But talk to your local priest if you think maybe God is calling you, and talk to your vocations director. It is a beautiful life, and you should investigate where God is leading you.
God bless you.